Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. As you can tell, I am really excited to be filming this because this is my first sit down video. Yeah, it's my first sit down video and I'm really excited. In case you don't know me, my name is Koforala Mary and I film about lifestyle. I am a nurse. I live in United Kingdom, England to be precise. So I film about my lifestyle generally. And currently I've been filming about my NCLEX, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you about. So sit down and enjoy this video. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, share, and I will appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, without further ado, let's get into the video.
Remember the days we were young, wild and free.
So, guys, the reason I'm doing this sit down video is just to tell you about my journey into writing NCLEX. Guys, writing this NCLEX took me 3 years. Yes. So, guys, let me start from where it all began. It all began in 2021. Guys, before I left nursing school, it has always been my dream to become US RN. Actually, before UK, that's always been my dream to become US RN. And because processing US to relocate to US is a long process compared to the UK. So I said, okay, let me start with the UK and come to the UK, which is the most popular plan that people have. And I started the processing of UK. And the first IELTS I sat for, I didn't meet the requirement for the UK. I think in my writing, I needed 6.5. I got 6, and my reading I got 6.5, and I needed 7. So I couldn't use it. So I just thought to myself, okay, since I wasn't meeting this requirement, let me, and that same IELTS made the requirement for US. And I said, okay, since my plan is to relocate to the US, let me start the US processing. So I started. Mind you, US processing is usually like is expensive. It will require a lot of money like to have. And at the time, my salary, I like I couldn't save up to meet all the things that I would be needing for my relocation to the US. So the popular thing for me to do is to apply to agency. There are agencies that sponsor people that do the processing for nurses, international nurses, and to be able to relocate to the US. So I began searching for agencies, nursing agency, recruitment agency in the US. So my search began. I started online, looking for online, and I think I will do another video just to tell you guys different agencies that you can apply to and how you can apply. I think I need to sit down and do that video. So I just digress. So going back, I started searching for agencies online. Applied to a couple of agencies and all that. So one agency that reached out back to me was O'Grady Painton. Yeah, I was in the agency. And I was so happy when I got that email. And then they said they would like to have an interview with me. I said, wow, interview, that's all right. I think I think it was not the first thing was not interview, it was exam. They said I will have to write an exam. Yeah. It's like a mock exam similar to NCLEX. So they said I will have to write. I want to make sure that my mic is still working. So they said I will have to write the exam. So they gave me like a week to prepare for the mock exam. I started reading and all that. and finally they sent me the link for the exam through my email, and I wrote the exam. I think the pass mark was 60. Yes, I think. Oh, I'm not so sure. I think the pass mark was 60. So I wrote the exam. I can't remember how many questions now. So I wrote the exam. I remember vividly. I was at work. I was on night duty when I wrote that exam. And guess what? I passed. Yeah, I got like 61 or 62. And then they sent me congratulation message that I passed. And the next thing was my interview. And I interviewed, and I was able to. After the interview, they sent me email that congratulations, that they have now accepted me into their agency, that the processing will start immediately, and then we started the process, and I did my verification. I paid for the verification, so they paid for the CGFNS, the opening of my account. They paid for all that, and they sent me materials from the US, NCLEX materials for me to start reading and all that. So that was how the journey began, and it started in 2021. I remember, like I said, 3 years ago that I started it, 2021. So along the line, I kept on writing. Guess what? Because I know that US processing is a long process. It usually takes like 2, 3 years. So I was already tired of Nigeria at the time. Like I just wanted to get out and all that. So I kept on writing high LTLs. I wrote the second time. I didn't meet the requirements. I wrote the third time. I didn't meet UK requirements. Meanwhile, all these ones that we are writing is it's meeting the US requirements, which obviously I'm in one agency already. So I eventually, the fourth time I eventually passed. And while all of these were happening, I was still doing the processing of US, and they enrolled me into classes, NCLEX classes online. I was taking it, guys. It was rigorous. I won't lie. I was working. I was preparing for IELTS. I was also studying for NCLEX, and it was rigorous. And they said I was going to write the exam in Philippines. So at the time, Philippines had closed their border for us. So that was what was delaying me at the time for me to write, and I wasn't getting like the score I'm supposed to get that will prepare me, like that would tell them that I am ready to sit for this exam. Okay, so I was writing. So I wrote the IELTS the fourth time. I passed. And guys, I relocated. I started the process of my UK and all that, and relocated to UK in 2020. No, in 2022. I'm sorry. I relocated finally to UK July 2022. And meanwhile, when I relocated, when I got here, I was preparing. Relocating is not something small. Like coming into new environment, starting work, reading for OSCE was a lot. It was really a lot for me, and coupled with the fact that, mind you, these people, this agency, they were still on my neck. Like they were sending me, if like there are requirement, there are certain number of questions I'm supposed to solve in a week. I'm supposed to answer in a week. They were on my neck asking me. I've not done that. It's like the pressure was getting worse. At the time, it was a lot, and I was preparing for OSCE. So I now sat myself down. That was where I made that decision. And I said myself down, Kofo, you are not ready to write this exam, this NCLEX. And first of all, balance yourself, get settled, write your skill, pass, and get into work, settle down, and then you can pick it up. Guess what I did again? So don't let me jump ahead myself. Sorry, sorry. Like let me do it. Let me do it step by step. So, and when I got here, I was preparing for OSCE. I did my OSCE in September. I didn't pass one of my OSCE, one station of my OSCE. Uh, in in I did 10 stations. I didn't pass one, so I had to rewrite the OSCE again in October and eventually pass. And I started working full time. Meanwhile, in all of this, my agency were still asking me, and then they were sending email that defaulting. I mean, in writing my questions for the week and all blah 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 blah. Oh my god, the pressure was a lot. So guess what? Again, I did. Before I came into UK, I had applied to school to do my BSc in the UK. I had applied in Nigeria because I felt like when I get to UK, I want to just get into school, finish my BSc and all that. And I had applied in Nigeria. When I got here, I was supposed to start class in September. I knew at the time I had not done my ski. I was preparing for NCLEX. I knew that right there I wasn't ready. So I deferred my admission till January 2023. See all what I put myself into. It was a lot. So just let me continue. So when I finished my ski, I just said, okay, I'm no longer going to go ahead with this NCLEX because I wasn't ready. So January came, I started school. I thought I could manage it because I had finished my OSCE and I'm not working. I was getting into the system, kids working in the UK, and I thought I was going to just be balancing school and preparing for NCLEX, but I couldn't. It was a lot and all that. So one day I just sent an email to them. So when I relocated, I've already told them that I was like I'd relocated from Nigeria to UK. They said no problem. So one day I just woke up, I just sent them an email that at this moment I am overwhelmed with work, with the new relocation. I think I'm not ready to write the class and I want to take a break. And I know you will not want me to take a break, so I would like to remove myself from the agency that I just want to go. But on one condition, because you guys they've paid for my lesson, they paid for the app that I was using. I was using Kaplan. They've paid for my Kaplan question banks that was, and I have access to multiple videos to be able to watch on him. So there's no way I was going to just let myself out of from the agency without paying them back. So they calculated all the money they've spent for me, and then it was like 900 and something dollars. So they asked me to pay back. At the time, I said I didn't have one 900 and something. I think 150 something dollars to return. I said I didn't have it. That I'm just going to return them back 3 times. They said no problem. So that I was just rest assured. That was last year. I was rest assured. I said, okay, thank God. Excuse me, thank God I am out of this. I'm no longer under pressure. Let me just finish my school. I thought I was going to write it last year. I said, let me just finish let me be doing my school and be reading at my pace so that I can sit for the exam myself. So I paid them back their money and then I was not doing it on my own now. So at my pace. So I didn't do it. The school work was overwhelming with work. I couldn't do it last year. So got to this year. And guys, when you register into to CGFNS, when you do your verification in Nigeria, so it's the portal expires, your portal your expires in 3 years. So, and I did it August 2021. So, August this year, 2024. Now, currently, I'm filming this in September. So, my page has already expired. And luckily, thankfully, I've passed my exam. So, it takes 3 years to expire before you pass your exam. So, at the time when I enter, I knew that I'm going to write it in 2024 because my page cannot expire. Because if it expires like that, I will have to start from the beginning. So that was my dilemma. So I 2023 passed. I was still doing my schooling. I couldn't do it. Now came to 2024. I had I still have some modules to be done during my school for my course, and I just I knew I wasn't able to do that, and I was still that was when I started my dissertation again. So I started my dissertation, and it was a lot. It was a lot, and I got I got an email reminding me that my page will expire August this year, and I said, "Oh, I have to do it." So I just booked. I booked my exam. I applied for ATT, and I booked my exam in July 22nd. So guys, you know that I didn't have option of failing, because if I should fail, before you can write again, it has to be after 52 days. And from July 2022, sorry, July 22, 2024, and my page is expiring August 30th. You know that there's no how, if I fail, there's no how I'm going to write before my page expire. So I was just telling God that, excuse me, I was just telling God that I don't have option of failing. I have to pass this exam once. Like, guys, during that period, it was, hmm, guys, it was a lot. Immediately I finished my dissertation, I submitted my dissertation in April, and in May, I think I uploaded one video uh, just documenting the day I started reading officially, and I started reading rigorously in May. I started reading. Guys, I was still working. I was still working 4 times in a week, and I was doing nights, working, reading. I just throughout my period of reading, I think I wasn't sleeping in my room. I was sleeping in the sitting room with my chair. When I sleep, I wake up, I read, I do this. Guys, it was rigorous. I Because I had to give it all it takes. It's not, guys, it's not by power, it's not by my power, it's not by my mind, it's not. But I actually gave it all it takes. I gave it my all. I read, and guys, I wrote the exam 20 July 22, 2024. And guys, when I wrote the exam, let me just another one I want to talk about the exam that I wrote. On the day of the exam, I went into the exam hall. I thought I was going to like do at most 85 questions. Guys, 85 question came, the computer did not shut down. I got to 100, the computer did not shut down. I said, hey, I am at it. At this point, I had spent more than 2 hours. I was still going 120. The computer did not shut down. guys, guys, it was a lot. At 1:30, the computer did not shut down. Guys, guess when my computer shut down? At 1:50. My computer shut down at 1:50. At this point, I have spent 4 hours 30 minutes in the exam hall. So, in case you are planning to write NCLEX, guys, eat before going to the exam hall. I'm somebody on a normal day when I'm going to the exam hall, I don't eat. But because somebody had told me to eat before going to exam hall. I made sure that I ate, and then I went to the exam hall that day, and I met 150 questions. Look at that. I spent 4 hours. At that point, I didn't have anything on my head again. I think the last four questions, I mean the last 10, 20 questions, I wasn't like concentrating again because my energy was sapped. Like my the glucose in my brain was already coming down. I wasn't able to think well. But all what I was doing, I was saying throughout that period, I was like, God, just help me. And one, I left the exam hall 150 questions. So I did 150 questions in my NCLEX exam, I mean. And glory to God, I passed. I passed. And guys, that was how I was able to do my NCLEX. Like 3 years. It took me 3 years to do it. From the first time, from the is the time I did my verification in 2021 till now. It took 3 years. That is it. And then I'm going to be sharing materials I used in my exams. I think should I do it in this video or another video? Let me check if this video is not long. If it's long, that means I'm going to do it in another video to share materials I use. I think it's going to be in a material in another videos. I mean in another video. It's going to be in another video because I'm going to go into details of materials I use because I use three materials. I use different, there are different bank questions, provider of bank questions like Camplan, uh, eh, Camplan, Archers. I've forgotten the third one that I use. So I used three. I used three, not at a time. I wasn't finding some okay. So in my next video, I'm going to sit down and tell you the three question bank I use and why I didn't use the two. I later used the last one. I later used one. I will tell you why I later used one. And in another video, I'm going to be sharing for you guys that maybe you cannot afford to start the process of your NCLEX, US relocation. I'm going to sit down and do another video uh, just saying different how you can get people or agency here, nursing agency to sponsor your relocation from the beginning, from writing your NCLEX, because that was what I initially did before I removed myself when I relocated, like I shared. So I'm going to dedicate another video for that. I hope you enjoy my video because this is my first time doing a sit down video. I hope you enjoyed it. And guys, please subscribe, please, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Comment if you are preparing for your NCLEX. Comment. I will be willing to continue sharing my journey into writing NCLEX. Actually, I will be more than willing to share all because I intentionally want to share about it because it was a long journey for me. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't only say about my nursing, my career. I do lifestyle. I got into fitness and I'm doing fitness video, like my gym video and all that. I do that. My lifestyle generally. So you if this channel seems like something that you like, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, and share my YouTube channel. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.